Welcome back. This is Jack. Hey, I'm here. I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to stream today. So for those who don't know or are new, I am bipolar. Like I forget what type I am, but I'm bipolar, and it makes me have very awkward sleep patterns. It's incredibly inconsistent. I can't set to a schedule. Like legitimately, just cannot set to a schedule. So I'll have time periods where I'm awake for long stretches of time, and I'll have time periods where I'm asleep for long stretches of times. Like I can't stay awake, and also I flip between being a nocturnal person where my rhythm, my sleep rhythm, is got me where midnight is my noon, effectively, for lack of a better description, and then it'll flip and have me be a morning person, and I'm the exact opposite, and it sucks. It really does. Right now, I'm a nocturnal person, so this is like my almost like this is I've gotten no sleep. Let's leave it at that. I've been awake for a good minute. I'm tired. So pretty much after this stream, I'll be conking out. And if I wake up in time, I'll try and do a stream on my Jack Datalist channel. But that's not why y'all are here. At least I don't think. Yeah, I don't think y'all are here to hear about my problems. Nope. I'd like to imagine. Why is my phone making noise at me? Oh, okay. That stuff. All right. We're here to talk about geek stuff today. There's a lot of things I could talk about today. I'll probably have to push the spoiler button a couple times just to protect those who have sensitive ears. But I want to start with something that's not spoiler oriented. So thankfully, it looks like Unity backpedaled. Like I was giving it some time, but it looks like Unity backpedaled on their idea that they were going to increase the cost of everything. Like it wasn't going to work. It just legitimately was not going to work. Like I don't know what made them think it was a good idea to try and make people pay more and make them pay per install. Like that's like a very dumb avenue to increase the cost. It just was dumb, and I'm surprised that they're surprised about the backlash they got. Anyway, they backtracked, and the reason why this is good, this is something I think that people haven't been talking about enough, is what this means to the VR gaming community with Unity backtracking. And the reason why this is a big deal is a majority of VR games are made in Unity these days. I don't know if it's because Unreal you can't make VR games. I don't know if there's just something in Unity that allows it to be easier to turn into a VR game, or just Unreal. Because I would much rather, if I were to learn to make games, I'd rather learn Unreal. Just because Unreal is just such an easy thing to access for me. It's a part of Epic Games. You just go down to it. Hang on, I can even show you. Actually, I already have it installed. Let's see here. Want to do what I think it does? Hang on. Some of my buttons aren't doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah, because I disconnected and reconnected my monitors at one point. Oh, I'm just gonna drag all this. Let's do that. Screw it. Screw it! We're doing it live! So yeah, y'all can now see the infinite void of what my screen capture stuff looks like. There you go. This is what I wanted to show y'all. So by the way, I do own Assassin's Creed Mirage. I streamed it this morning / last night. It's not bad. I don't hate it. But anyway, if you wanted to play oh, it's not flipped over yet, but why are you not showing what you should be showing? Oh, because it's currently set to screen browser. Okay, there we go. Anyway, if you wanted to install Unreal Engine, you would just go install Epic Games. You might have it from playing Fortnite or whatever, and then you click Unreal Engine. Install. I already own it, so I have 5.1. You can use any of the previous ones. And here's the thing that I really like about it. There's a marketplace. So if you want to make some temporary assets, they have a lot of free stuff in there too. And you could just throw stuff in there as filler, and as you make your own, or you hire people to make it, or you may find what you need in there. That's why you have asset flips that you see on Steam all the time. Oh, I'm not sure. It didn't transition over, so you guys don't have. But yeah, that's why I like Unreal. Now I know Unity has something similar, but I think the Unreal store is just so much bigger. And plus, you actually don't need to learn to code too much because they have what's known as blueprints. Because I've done a little bit with this before, so it's not that big of a deal. But it's called blueprints, and it's not a bunch of words. It's a bunch of boxes that you draw lines between to make different effects. So it's kind of cool. So, in case anyone's wondering, that is some Diet Dr Pepper, and I normally don't drink diet stuff, but I can't cut soda out of my diet because I can't. It's just something that's been in my life my whole life. I can't get it out. So I'm going to try and switch over to diet stuff. And I try not to drink from cans anymore because like I would get a 2 liter and sip it from a teacup effectively, and I have like one maybe 2 cups of that a day, and that would just get the flavor out of the way, and like cool, I had my soda. But unfortunately, the 2 liter would last for so long that it was going flat. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to diet soda, and I'm gonna try and use I'm gonna get the cans and try to have 1 can a day, maybe 2 if I'm stressed out. But yeah, no. So with Unity backtracking the way they are um with all that, that's a very good thing ultimately. Because that means that it's exactly what it sounds like it means. It means that VR games can continue to grow. Now, I also imagine a lot of Unity developers are going to start learning other engines in case they try to do this again. Because once you've seen a company pull this kind of shit, you can't trust it anymore. I don't know. All right. Oh, by the way, if you notice the camera's following me, it's because I have a smart camera, um, and I currently have it set to track me, so that's why you see it proportioned the way it is. Normally, I zoom it in differently. Um, and also, I've redone the set behind me. There used to be like a TV and stuff there. That's going to be where I can record like green screen stuff, where I can do some of my videos, and where I can do my VR stuff. Okay, all good things. No bad things. All good things. All right. All right. Remember, if y'all got anything y'all want to talk about, any fan theory stuff, any comic book manga stuff going on you want to talk about, we'll go. I've been reading a few things. So on Netflix, I'm not going to do spoilers, don't worry. But on Netflix, there is a show called it's the new Castlevania series, Castlevania Nocturna, and it's supposed to take place a couple hundred years after the previous series, which is good because those characters I think had reached the end of their story. You defeat death, kind of what do you fight after that? They were too powerful at that point. So this is their descendant. And the main character, he's okay, he's all right. He's all right. He's definitely a Belmont. He is definitely a Belmont. Um but no, the overall story and what's great about it is all of the characters are interesting to some degree. And this takes place during French Revolution, France. Um, so I don't know why, but it's just something that just hits just the right way with French aristocrats. I don't know why. Because I'm Cajun, so the idea of blood sucking French aristocrats just makes me laugh just the right way. All right. So I do recommend watching it. It's on there, the whole first season, and it looks like they're doing a similar season structure that they did with Castlevania, the original Castlevania, where like the first season builds a major what the fuck, and then the next season will solve the what the fuck. Try not to curse on this channel. Really trying not to curse on this channel. I seem to have already failed twice in this one stream. Grumble, 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 grumble. Oh well. I need to have my soundboard set up here where I can be like, the what the. I think that's a good one. Or the what the. Yeah, see, there you go. But no, there's a lot of really cool characters that's in there, so I do highly recommend. I just highly recommend watching it. If you got a Netflix account already, if you don't, I wouldn't get a Netflix account. Like, this is not me advertising for Netflix. I actually don't like Netflix, and literally the only reason I have it is because it comes with my phone bill. Like, because of the phone bill I have for various reasons, it gave me a free Netflix for one device. I'm like, All right, I'm the one paying the phone bill. I got that Netflix account. Yay, caffeine. All right. So, quick thoughts on the Assassin's Creed Mirage. So I've been playing it. As I mentioned before, I picked it up. I was playing it on stream, and it's not bad. It's legitimately not bad. It's back to its roots of your character is not a combatant. You can fight, but your character is meant to be sneaky, sneaky, stabby, stabby. Now the problem is I've played a lot of Souls-like games, so the combat becomes extremely trivial to me. Even like the only time there's an issue is if there's a guy who's armored, so I can't attack him from the front, because those big guys have like very little windows of opportunity to counter. So those are the only times I have trouble. So the majority of the time when they show up, I'll just keep backing up, taking care of everybody else until they're the last person standing, and then I'll just keep circling them until I get an opening on the back. So the combat becomes really trivial. Now, this takes place in Baghdad, and they did such a great job. It is just such a gorgeous city in there. But overall, the game is really good. It went back to its roots of being stealthy stealth. I do recommend it. Oh, especially because it's not a full price game. Because I think right now, hang on, what is it? What's it going for right now on the store? I'm on the Epic Game Store. I think it's also on Steam, but I had money on here. Yeah, it's like $50. Or almost every game now is like $60, $70 on launch. That's a good deal. All right, another quick review. So, Warhammer 40k Darktide. I played it since launch, and I had a lot of fun. I played all the classes. I had a lot of fun. You know, I've got pretty good at it, and I was there through a lot of the growing pains. But then I just kind of got burnt out because when I get to the point in the game where the point of the game is to get better at the game, meaning you're just trying to get that little bit better loot. So it just comes down to RNG stuff, not your skill. Yeah, I get done. I get done with games real quick. That's one of the reasons I'll stop playing Destiny for a long period of time. You know, stuff like that. And but now they did what is basically their 2.0. Like, you know how Cyberpunk 2077 had their 2.0 update? Well, this one just had its class 2.0 update, where now the classes have a lot more variety to them. So there's still only 4 classes. I want to make a 5th one. But now each class has a whole class tree. Originally they had you had 5 choices. You get to pick one of 3 on each of the choices. Yeah, done, son. That's your class. That's your character. And then the choices really didn't make too much of a difference. Because ultimately didn't make that much of a difference. Like, your abilities were still the same, just like there was some, it would just tweak the details a little bit. So it was what's the point? But now there's a whole tree to it where your choices do make a difference. Like, for instance, I like playing my Ogre. And each class now has, so every class had their grenade ability, we'll call it. It's their tactical ability. Each one, and the Ogre specifically, he threw a box of grenades. Now, they didn't explode unless you had the special perk for it, but he threw a box of grenades. That's it. That was his whole ability. That was it. I almost never used it. There was almost no point to me. It's like, okay, cool. I'd rather just hit someone with a billy club. But now everyone has 3 that you get to choose from. He can throw a big rock, the box of grenades, or a big effing grenade. Those are his 3 choices. I haven't tried the big effing grenade, but I throw the rock. And the reason why I like the rock is, 1, it fits with me doing a melee build with him, and 2, they recharge on their own automatically. He carries 4 at a time, and they recharge over every 60 seconds. He gets a new one. So there you go. If I need it, bonk. I don't even have to pull out my gun. Just bonk somebody in the back. My little buddy Zane wants attention. All right. So yeah, no, I do recommend it. If you already got Warhammer 40k Darktide, jump back in, give it another try. It's a different game. It feels really good. I do enjoy it. It's always fun to run with a crew, though. That makes a huge difference right there. All right, I'm gonna throw up my spoiler tag. I got something in spoilers territory I want to talk about. All right, started. Sorry, and a burp. So right now in One Piece, um, we have a lot going on in the manga side. We're known what's known as the Egghead arc, where you're finding out a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we just didn't know, like that the five nobles are actually insanely powerful. Luffy's currently fighting Kizaru, and there's a lot more going on than even that. So where it gets more interesting, is we still don't know what the third super weapon was, and there's a part of me that is wondering: is Luffy's Devil Fruit the third? Because we know what Pluton was a ship, and we know where the original Pluton is. We know that Poseidon is Shirahoshi herself, and there was a previous one who could do the same thing too. That's the second one. We don't know what the third one is, but we know the third one is basically, we're just going to say Zeus. So the sky god. Nika, sun. Possibility. I don't know. I don't think that's the answer, but I think that's the answer. Because it would fit. To me, it would fit in a weird way. Because you have one is technology, the other is the natural gift that Shirahoshi has, and then the third one is a devil fruit. Although arguably, one of my friends pointed out it could be devil fruits as a whole is the third one, but I don't know. Ugh. I told y'all I haven't slept, so like I'm really loopy. This will probably be a short stream unless we get some. I get really excited about stuff. All right, so we're gonna now talk about Jujutsu Kaisen. Spoiler tag is staying up. That's one that you do care about. Dip out for a bit. I'll flash the spoiler tag when I change topics. All right, so in Jujutsu Kaisen, or how the frick you say that word? Gojo is dead as of right now. We don't know if he's gonna stay dead because he has a habit of not staying dead. And he wasn't the main character to begin with, so we knew like I really didn't like the idea of him winning the fight with Sukuna. I kind of expected him to, but I expected it to be not a real win. I expected something else to come up, the fight to be stopped in some way. Because ultimately, I feel it would need to come down to an Itadori fight versus Sukuna, because that's what it's always felt like it's going to have to be. And before that fight started, there was another cursed user, like ancient cursed user, who like intentionally like turned into a cursed spirit for the sole purpose of being resurrected at the same time as Sukuna so he could fight Sukuna because he viewed that he was strong enough to do it. He lasted one manga issue. He got killed in like 2 hits. My kitty cat's being a needy kitty cat. So this all-powerful character went down like a sack of bricks. Like he's just down. So now Itadori and somebody else whose name I can't remember. He's one of the third years that was not expelled. He was suspended at the time of everything else going on because he had a fight club effectively. He's now fighting with, I think that's who it is fighting with Itadori versus Sukuna. So I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make. I think that's who it was. I could be mistaken. Now, some of you might be wondering, well, where's Yuta? You know, like the other most powerful curse user. Like, has the Queen of Curses is in his back pocket. Where is he? Where is he in this? He was watching the fight. We don't know what he's currently doing. A lot of people are suspecting he's trying to save Gojo. Because he knows how to use reverse curse technique to heal others, which most people don't know how to do. In fact, most people can't even use reverse curse technique. Very few know how to use it, even less know how to use it on other people. And he does. In fact, he instinctively did it by accident. If y'all remember in the movie, he's like, in Jujutsu Kaisen 0, I healed my friends. So this could prove to be very interesting. I still am not liking how they ended the Gojo fight, where it's Gojo wins, next issue dead. Like they literally declare it. Not he's thinking it. Narrator says Gojo won, and then nope, he's dead. Like that kind of pisses me off as a writer. All right, I'm gonna flash it. I can't just turn it off and on. I have to wait for this to cycle. There we go. Fill up his food dish before I go lay down. All right. So, I want to talk about the Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War arc. I'm happy with it. I'm really impressed with it. They did a good job getting around some of the more sensitive issues that was originally written while enhancing things that weren't covered. So one of the big problems a lot of people had with like Squad Zero, for instance, is they went down like a sack of potatoes. They did nothing against the elite Sternritters. They went down instantly almost. Like I think the guy who makes swords like took one or two of them down, but all of them died almost, or not died, lost their fights almost immediately. The closest who like held his own for a bit was Ichibi, and the only reason he ultimately lost his fight is because Yabahawa cheats. Like literally, that's his ability. He cheats. Mind you, Ichibi's abilities are all cheat, but that's another conversation. So, what was it? He what they've done is one, they've shown a few bankais that weren't shown before. Like they were known, that was what their bankai was known to be, but it wasn't shown because they were done in books mostly. So one good example is the leader of the Visored. I can't remember his name right now. Shinji, I think it is. One of the books actually said no. His ability is he covers himself in a flower, and then everybody around him, ally and enemy, suddenly everything gets inverted. Their concept of who's their ally, who's their enemy, up, down, left, right, everything. So you basically allies turn on each other and start killing each other. Mind you, he still gets his ass kicked by Bombita because she's like, I don't care if I kill my allies. So there's that. And then they did a good job handling the zombie chick. I can't remember her name right now because they could have done a lot of like the character is still a problem in her own right because there's just a lot of messed up content involving her that can't be cut because it's a part of her character. And yes, I do know some of you are saying it's a guy. No, the character identifies as female. I respect pronouns. Don't care. Just because the character is an evil villain doesn't mean I'm going to change that. So they've been able to show some. They've been able to allow for some respect for characters who didn't get the respect before to get their respect. And also power, and then the arc itself originally, and as it originally did, it powered up characters who needed it. Because there's the power creep that comes in with like any good story. I think I can take this down now. As with any story, especially one that goes on long enough, you develop a power creep. And oh, he wants to go in my roommate's room. There develops a power creep. And the earlier the characters introduced, their abilities introduced, the weaker it is. And like a good example, like speaking of a good example is Naruto, for instance. The Rasengan, it's treated as like this amazingly like difficult ability to do. Kakashi's like, yeah, I can do it too. Like it's nothing. Okay, but Kakashi's insane, so that's cool. And so then Naruto's like, oh cool, I'll make the Rasen Shuriken. He does. A feat that combining both the changed nature chakra with the extreme shape like made it S tier plus. Like people are like, yeah, that shouldn't be a thing. That's only someone like Naruto could freaking pull it off. Oh wait, his son does it in like a week. That's another conversation. I hate Baruto. And it's insanely powerful. You saw what it did. It had the repercussions that it would destroy your own arm doing it. And then And then by like shortly thereafter, it becomes the most useless technique ever. He just spam throws them and they do nothing almost. Because like once he learned to throw them, they were about the only thing that could hurt the pains. And then after that, it just stopped being useful. Like I see that they like, and this is speaking specifically of Naruto. I'm going to flip back to Bleach with this. In Naruto, they at least somewhat tried to keep the power scaling, not the, with Naruto's abilities, they tried to keep them balanced to some degree. So, for instance, like they showed that yes, Kurama mode was at a certain level of power, but Sage mode had its advantages. Like when he was dealing with the third Raikage, he had to switch to Sage mode because one, I think he was out of chakra anyway, but two, he was just faster during that time. And this is before he had perfected Kurama Sage mode. So now flipping over back over to Bleach, you see that problem coming on. The earlier a character's Bankai was introduced, the weaker it was inherently. So for example, Byakugan's, it was introduced pretty early, and it was still insanely powerful in its own right because it had an ability that was very versatile and hard to defeat. But then when you saw some of the other later ones getting introduced, and you're like, how are you supposed to counter that? Like Byakugan's is a joke comparatively. Like a series Hyori. I don't know if the ice guy with Hyorimaru could win, but like it would be if an actual down fight would be interesting because I do know that there's like a reggae version of him that versed Byakugan, but those don't count. They're not canon. But anyway, so the Thousand Year Blood War arc allowed for these characters to get. Oh, and crap, what's his name? His lieutenant, Byakugan's lieutenant. Anyway, it allowed for several characters to either gain their Bankai or to power up their Bankai because they better understood it, or they revealed they weren't using their full Bankai, as some of them did. Because you see that with Ichigo throughout the whole series. Like, his Bankai technically never changes. It's just more and more of it gets unlocked because he comes to better and better terms with his powers. Arguably, he's never used his Bankai until the Thousand Year Blood War arc, but that's another conversation. All right. As I said before, I'm pretty tired, so that's the reason why I'm not going to try and push for a full hour stream like I'd like to. Oh. My little buddy here, he wants to complain. He wants to complain so much. I think I had a news story I had set aside I wanted to cover. Let me see if I've got it. Hang on. What I'm thinking of? Actually, this is something I could talk about. Hang on. One of my friends, someone I follow, shared this. And the post says, for those who are just listening, the primary problem with modern movies is the near total lack of goo. Great films require goo. CGI simply cannot replicate the look and feel of proper goo. And he's not entirely wrong. Like, the reason why I say that, and I think I've spoken of this before, I probably have, is because in modern cinema, we have a bad habit of, can it be done by CGI? Cool, we're going to do it with CGI, no matter what. Now, to me, I feel that proper CGI can be used. I think it needs to be overlaid over proper practical effects where able to be done. So what I'm saying is, so as an example, firing blanks and using squibs. Like, you're like, okay, cool, that's whatever. You know, like you see people like, I pulled a prank with. Yeah, they're still insanely freaking dangerous. As on the set of Rust, you found out what happened. It's insanely dangerous to deal with guns that fire blanks. You can still accidentally kill somebody, and squibs are still micro explosions on your body. So, if they wanted to replace some of that with CGI, and added sound, go for it. In fact, most of the sounds usually added in anyway, so it's not that big of a deal anyway. Um, but when it comes to things like what you're seeing, like where it shows like Bishop, and he's got all the white goo around him that's supposed to be his blood, or in the thing where you see like the goo squirting everywhere and all that good stuff like that, especially when it's interacting directly with one of the actors, that can't be taken away. You can't take away stuff like that and get the same effect. Because in like you see a problem with this going on in like Marvel movies. So you see Tony Stark supposed to be wearing this huge piece of metal armor, and you watch how he moves. He moves like a normal person. Frick no. If you're wearing a full plate of armor like that, you're not moving like a normal person. You have to accommodate where your range of motion is. So it should have affected his motions. So Zane really wants to get in my roommate's room. No, I'm not torturing my cat. He just wants to get into a room that has a shut door. Now, what he'll do is the door will open, he'll stare at it, and then walk away because he's a cat. Anyway, so I do feel that there is a place for CGI, but when doing something like Iron Man's armor, you can't just wear hypothetical pieces of plastic over it and go, okay, this is where the markers are. No, you have to build effectively a box around the person. Make a cosplay outfit. It can be low grade, doesn't have to look good, but enough to interfere with their range of motion. Because that makes a huge difference. That's why when you see voice acting being done, people will sometimes, like as an example, in The Mandalorian, I can't remember the voice actor's name, but he voices over some of the scenes he does. He's not even in. He's voicing over the suit because he's not. He doesn't have because you can't see the mouth, so he's able to do it no issue. He's still holding a pillow or a small doll of Grogu the whole time, so it gives him the emotion that he's able to portray. God damn it, Zane! You acting like I'm abusing you. I'll give you some pets, okay? You could have came to me for pets this whole time, but no, you're like, hey, I'm gonna be a loud little shit. With that box out of the way so you can see him. See, he's right here. My little kitty cat, my little buddy. Also an annoying little shit sometimes. You done, son? All right. So now I'm not expecting every production to break the bank in doing like animatronics and stuff like that, like Jurassic Park did back in the day. No, they don't have to do that. Especially if you're like a small studio, you don't have to do anything crazy. Just um, just build enough of a costume so that it makes a proper framework for the person to move with. Because you don't want to rely on their movements being proper down to the actor. Give them more to work with. Another example, by the way, of when voice acting, extra props being added is Vin Diesel when doing Groot. He did it on stilts, so he got the emphasis on how big of a person he really was. All right, you done? You done meowing? Okay, I'll go back to petting you. I think that's what I got left in the tank. Sorry, I'm just petting Zane. He got his belly out now for me to pet him. All right, that's what I got. Expect a lot of tweak to my content and like how I do things. Hopefully, all for the better. I have a lot of different tricks I'm going to be doing, and there's going to be a bit more VR stuff coming up because there is a lot of VR things I'm looking forward to. There's a VR Assassin's Creed game coming out in November. Eventually, I do want to get a Quest 3 and do a review on it, which it'll be long out, so because I can't afford $500 just to do a review on something. Ow! I popped my ankle. Um, for my other channels, you'll see probably the some VR content being released, like VR recordings. Because once again, because the way I'm rechanging up my setup, it allows me to just record things much easier. I'm gonna take advantage of. Yeah, I'm tired. That's why I'm not holding this stream longer. I'd really like to keep going, but I'm just tired. Y'all know. Oh, in regards to this channel, the Coffee Over Gaming channel, for those who are watching on Twitch, don't forget to go like and subscribe on Coffee Over Gaming. If you're not subscribed to my Twitch channel, do that too. Anyway, I'm really happy. I don't sound it. I can't emote really well because I'm tired. So I've had a lot of growth with this channel, especially lately. Jumped to 815 last I looked, and the only thing short I am from hitting the monetized stage for a channel is actually the watch hours. Because at 500, you're able to start getting like YouTube members and stuff like that. Now I don't know what I could offer as YouTube members. I really don't. And then at 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, you can get ad revenue. And since I do a lot of YouTube shorts, I'd make a lot of money from that, which means I can invest it back into my projects, make more and more Mobetta stuff. And it's not, but I know it's not about the money. It really is. But it does feel like a lot of love that I get from people who watch my videos, watch my shorts, and for those who are able to pop into my streams. Appreciate it. It means a lot. I know some people who are, because I don't stream consistently on a time with this. I do need to do this more often, more than just every Friday. Yeah. And if you don't know, I also have my Jack Daedalus channel. That's where I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Those are my usual days. I also stream randomly all the damn time. And there's also my Jack Daedalus Twitch channel, which anytime I go live, I'm also live there at the same time. Because I also going to be going live with my Coffee Over Politics channel where I talk politics. Who would have thunk? All right. Anyway, and there'll be a fourth channel popping back up. It's my dead original channel, the Geek's Perspective. That's gonna be more of a podcast thing I do with my little sister and my older sibling, Gothic and Niche, and then probably occasional guest stars. It won't be just my channel though. That is going to be a lot of people's channel, and it's meant to be a co-op channel. So we'll see where that goes. I don't know. But yeah, I love you guys. Like, subscribe, share.